Hello everybody, it's TGF and I'm here for a new video. So you may be asking why a French YouTuber is doing an English intro, and I will explain that right now. I'm doing critics of videos of the American YouTuber DigiBro about Steins Gate and Steins Gate Zero, something I really love, and he said so much things, so much thing I'm angry with and I'm kind of not happy with, and I want to critique them, so I do some videos about it. And since I'm French, because I'm Frenchman, the video will be in French, but that's why I intervene, and I will say that even if you're not French and you don't understand or what I say, I will be doing English subtitles on my critiques, so you will understand why I'm saying the things I'm gonna do and I'm gonna say. Because it's important for people that love Steins Gate Zero and the Science Adventure series to know why I disliked those videos, because it was really a bore to watch, kind of, and it was angrier. You know, I was angry at the time I finished those videos, and I wanted to do a critique about it. It takes a lot of time, and I hope you will like it. If you want to know more, can you comment something, like something? I will be replying to comments about those videos, because that's really interesting to see what debate could be made about those videos, and I hope you will like it. So, without further ado, welcome to the video. Bonjour à toutes et à tous, bienvenue dans une nouvelle vidéo, c'est TGF. Cette vidéo est assez particuliire car je vais critiquer des vidéos concernant l'anime Steins Gate Zero, que je trouve erronée ou vraiment très mauvaise. Ne parlons pas d'un débunkage, plutôt d'un recentrage. Ces vidéos ont été créées par le youtubeur américain DigiBro, un youtubeur spécialisé dans la critique des animés, qui dit justement que Steins Gate Zero est une mauvaise suite. Dans ces vidéos, je vais essayer d'expliquer pourquoi cet avis est juste erroné, et ça, c'est juste mon avis. Vidéo numéro 1. Steins Gate Zero sucks part 1. Ruining my favorite characters. Alors, je vais vous expliquer simplement ce qui va se passer. La vidéo va être diffusée en VOSTFR, donc elle va être diffusée en entier avec un timecode en haut pour que vous puissiez voir actuellement où vous en êtes dans la vidéo. Et à certains moments, j'arrêterai la vidéo pour expliquer pourquoi je suis en désaccord ou en accord avec lui, et pourquoi justement je veux critiquer ce qu'il a à dire. Et donc, ceci étant dit, on peut commencer la vidéo dès maintenant.
The best thing about watching a bad sequel is how it demands that you consider what made the original so good by comparison. I realize that a lot of people enjoyed Steins Gate Zero, and that's fine, like what you like, but if you feel that way, know that I don't relate to your feelings at all. I can't understand how it's possible that you'd enjoy the original show and then enjoy Steins Gate Zero in kind, when the two shows have nothing in common except for characters with the same names, similar plot conceits, and the latter pretends to relate to the canon of the former.
Steins Gate Zero est dans le canon du précédent. À la fin de l'épisode 23, Steins Gate, on voit un Okabe du futur discuter avec l'Okabe Rintaro, qui est revenu de son voyage infructueux pour sauver Makise Kurisu. Justement, il faut que cet élément soit expliqué, et c'est pourquoi Steins Gate Zero est important pour comprendre le pourquoi du comment cet Okabe fait le choix d'envoyer un message dans le passé. Continuons.
In any other way, Steins Gate Zero does not even resemble the original series, and if I were to consider it canonical, it would significantly diminish my appreciation of it.
Tu peux le considérer canon, car Steins Gate Zero est essentiel au plot de Steins Gate, de telle manière que si tu n'as pas les événements de Steins Gate Zero, tu n'as pas tous les éléments pour tisser un lien avec ce qu'on a dans Steins Gate.
But I guess that's a bunch of pretty loaded statements, so how about we unpack them? Steins Gate started life as a visual novel, which surely had to be trimmed down significantly and streamlined to be made into an anime series. And I know that there is a large contingent of people who would think the anime terrible by comparison because of these changes.
Ce n'est pas mon cas. Même si l'anime Steins Gate est moins bon que le visual novel, je considère cet anime comme étant une de mes meilleures expériences sur une adaptation de jeu. D'ailleurs, les fins sont moins connectées entre elles par rapport à Steins Gate Zero, ce qui fait qu'ils ont mis peu d'éléments de ces routes dans Steins Gate comparé à Steins Gate Zero.
Personally, I think visual novels are generally boring, overly long-winded, and unengaging, and the quality of the original is irrelevant to my consideration of the anime series, which is great.
Ça me fait rappeler un autre youtubeur, français celui-là, qui avait rabaissé le visual novel Steins Gate car il pensait que justement il fallait mieux lire un bouquin que jouer au jeu. Et si, dans le cas d'une adaptation, il faut toujours avoir connaissance du matériel d'origine, ainsi que dans le cas présent de son prédécesseur, car justement, c'est une suite.
It's not impossible that Steins Gate Zero is just as good of a visual novel as the original game, but if the original game even resembles the anime series, then I would find this hard to believe. Given that the anime adaptations were both written by the same guy, I'm inclined to lay the blame for this terrible story at the hands of the visual novel staff, which was significantly shuffled between the two games, unsurprisingly because Steins Gate Zero simply had no reason to exist.
En ayant regardé les deux équipes des deux jeux, je peux prouver que même si l'équipe de Steins Gate 0 est plus grande que celle de Steins Gate, les équipes sont très proches. Shiumeru Shikura chipote toujours le tout, nous avons toujours le même compositeur, le même écrivain en partie. Beaucoup de personnes travaillant sur Steins Gate 0 sont les mêmes que les précédents qui ont travaillé sur Steins Gate. Donc le fait de critiquer l'équipe du visual novel, je dis
c'est non.
Et encore, dire que Steins Gate 0 n'a aucune raison d'exister, je voudrais que tu m'expliques pourquoi un Okabe du futur a envoyé un message dans l'épisode 22 de Steins Gate. Pourquoi il a voulu créer ce message alors que cet Okabe n'avait également pas réussi à sauver Kurisu?
The word uninspired is dangerous because it's so nebulous and like, who am I to say whether or not a creator was really inspired to make something? But if there was ever a piece of media where I could point to inspiration as the difference between why it's good or bad, this is the one. The original Steins Gate felt like it was inspired by someone's desire to create an otaku hero's journey story using the central gimmick of time travel, with a mystery thriller atmosphere and characters representing different aspects of the otaku psyche, while the sequel felt like it was inspired by a company's desire to capitalize on the success of Steins Gate in a way which would feel relevant enough to be considered a full product.
Alors, effectivement, on pourrait considérer que Steins Gate 0 est une volonté de la part du studio de 5PB, Nitro Plus et le Shiumeru Studio de créer cette série pour de l'argent. Mais si on considère que Steins Gate et Steins Gate 0 font partie du même univers que d'autres jeux comme Chaos Head, Chaos Child, Occultic 9, Robotic Nuts et Robotic Nuts Dash, on peut dire que justement, tient pas trop le coup. Si on suit ta logique, la seule suite de Steins Gate aurait dû être Steins Gate 0 et pas des éléments complémentaires comme Robotic Nuts, Occultic 9, Chaos Child et Robotic Nuts Dash. Eh oui, c'est la série des Science Adventures. Et apparemment, ce n'est pas le seul programme qui existe dans cet univers.
If you need evidence, simply strip away all of the stuff that was present in the first season and look at what we're left with. Bland.
Ah, la première instance de Kagari 8 dans cette vidéo. Ne vous inquiétez pas, ce sera pas le seul. Oh non. Autant pour Fubuki Kaede, je peux comprendre son point de vue, mais c'est le problème d'une adaptation en fait. Car certains personnages deviennent moins importants que d'autres parce que l'adaptation le demande.
One-dimensional new characters, most of whom have little to contribute to the story, a bafflingly nonsensical plot which takes an eternity to start moving.
Le plot, pour toi, n'a aucun sens. Il en a beaucoup plus que tu peux l'imaginer. Alors effectivement, on peut dire que certains épisodes te paraissent lents, mais Steins Gate n'est pas connu pour son côté action, mais son côté émotionnel et thriller.
And fantasy technologies which raise far more questions than they see fit to answer. Now put back the elements which were there originally and consider how none of them even resemble what they used to be. How the new show uses the idea of character development to mask the fact that none of these characters are even similar to the people they were before.
Alors là, premier souci. Tout d'abord parce que tu dis que les personnages ressemblent moins aux personnages que tu as connus. Normal, puisque nous sommes dans une autre ligne de temps. Le seul à avoir réellement vécu ces voyages est Okabe, et donc c'est le seul qui a vécu cette ligne de temps parallèle où existait Makise Kurisu. Les autres personnages, et notamment Mayuri, n'est pas au courant de tout ce qu'Okabe a parcouru, ce qui fait la révélation encore plus violente. Deuxième souci, le développement des personnages est logique en sachant leur évolution par rapport aux informations qu'elles connaissent au fur et à mesure. On y reviendra.
How it seems confused about which aspects of the original show were important or meant to be taken seriously, and thus turns the plot into a goofy mess that fixates on all the wrong details. Then notice how it finds every excuse to clone the most popular character from the original series into as many permutations as possible, despite the launching off point of the story having been that it takes place in a universe where she's supposed to be dead.
Kagari n'est pas un clone de Kurisu. Quoi qu'on puisse dire sur le fait qu'elle ressemble physiquement à Kurisu, Ce n'est pas pour ça qu'elle est là.
Notice how popular characters from the first season who wouldn't have had anything to do in this universe now get even more screen time than before as the show finds any conceivable reason to give them more to do.
Sais-tu que même si on est dans une autre ligne d'univers, des choses ne changent pas? Par exemple, il est très probable, voire certain, que Mayuri connaisse Faris via son travail à mi-temps dans le bar Meikuin Nyan Nyan. Il en est de même pour Daru, qui restait souvent au bar de Faris. Donc Faris est toujours dans les connaissances des personnages principaux. Concernant le Kako, on peut considérer que Mayuri le connaît également, car elle fait toujours du cosplay. C'est d'ailleurs comme ça qu'elle a rencontré Kaede, Fubuki et Yuki Amane. Donc techniquement, Faris et le Kako font partie de l'univers, et de toute manière, ils feront partie de Valkyrie, quelle que soit son itération dans le futur.
Notice how every fucking scene tries to force as many characters on screen as humanly imaginable just so they have a chance to appear a requisite number of times throughout the series, and then realize this is a goddamn Steins Gate fanfiction.
Non, c'est Steins Gate Zero, c'est la suite de Steins Gate. En quoi tu penses que c'est une fanfiction? Tu vas essayer de me le dire, mais je serai là pour te recentrer. Waouh! J'ai déjà dû intervenir 12 fois dans son introduction. Il n'a même pas réellement montré son argumentaire. Je sens qu'on va passer une bonne journée!
But you don't have to take my word for it. You can take my pages and pages and pages of words for it as we autopsy this monster piece by piece. Part 1. The main characters. Right from the moment that the character designs for Steins Gate Zero were posted online, I knew that something was off. Mostly that their outfits looked terrible, but more importantly that they didn't seem right for the characters.
Dois-je rappeler que Steins Gate Zero se déroule en décembre? Donc ces caractères design ont du sens pour Mayuri et Daru. Même si je confirme que d'avoir des claquettes en hiver, c'était pas la meilleure idée.
Aside from the fact that representing Okarin's state of depression by dressing him like he's going to a funeral at all times is cheesy as fuck.
Pour Okabe, le noir est la couleur du deuil pour Kurisu, mais aussi celui de sa personnalité alter ego, Onin Kyoma. Après les événements de Steins Gate et le fait qu'il ait tué, je le rappelle, Makise Kurisu en essayant de la sauver, Okabe a complètement abandonné. Il ne passe plus par le laboratoire et il a repris ses études. Il a subi tellement de choses qu'il est en partie brisé, d'où d'ailleurs la scène avec le psychologue dans l'épisode 1. Il a ce qu'on peut appeler un post-traumatic stress disorder, ou désordre post-traumatique, ou stress post-traumatique, ou PTSD. C'est normal donc qu'il n'ait pas envie de revenir à son ancienne personnalité.
Or that Mayuri appears to have aged 10 years in the span of 6 months. The one that really dug its way into my hate gland was Daru with his fucking suspenders and fingerless gloves. You see, one of the things which made Steins Gate so instantly lovable to me back when the original show started in 2011 was how realistic and relatable the characters felt. Okarin himself is one of the most literally me characters I've ever seen in anime, but even more than him, Daru was very clearly modeled after a specific type of person who exists in real life, and was so strikingly similar to my best friend at the time, a fellow tech head with a specialization in networking and systems who weighed some 300 pounds, wove memetics into his speech, and generally had the same kind of attitude towards me that Daru has towards Okarin, that the existence of this character immediately brought the show tangibly to life for me. Daru would never fucking wear suspenders and fingerless gloves.
Alors de nouveau, dois-je rappeler qu'on est dans une autre ligne de temps? On ne sait pas ce que porte Daru dans l'autre timeline. Les bretelles ne sont pas un souci ni les gants, je ne vois pas ce qui est contradictoire en fait.
You see, the type of otaku that Daru is a type who's obsessed with comfort and efficiency. This is readily apparent in his dialogue throughout the first season, but more so in the way that he's dressed. Plain single-color t-shirt that doesn't draw attention, regular-ass jeans, flip-flops, and a hat for the sole purpose of blocking the summer sun from his eyes. The only thing he's missing is an ever-present backpack to complete the standard fat Japanese otaku stereotype. Now, if the sequel had introduced a side plot about Daru trying to lose weight by lifting, I might have been able to accept the fingerless gloves. If he'd been job searching or something, I might have even accepted the button-up shirt. But why in the ever-loving name of fuck would Daru ever be caught dead wearing suspenders? I know this probably sounds like a petty complaint.
Oh mais t'inquiète pas, ça l'est. Pour moi le design de Daru dans Steins Gate Zero ne me dérange pas outre mesure.
But it speaks volumes about the kind of considerations which were made in planning this sequel. Obviously, the mentality here was that if we were going to have a second season, then the characters needed to look different. And since this is the sequel, it only makes sense that things be more than they were before. More characters, more plot components, more clothes.
Il faut de nouveaux personnages dans une suite, c'est comme ça que ça fonctionne. Tu as rarement une suite où on ne t'introduit pas à plusieurs ou un personnage. C'est le principe des suites. étendre la sphère de compréhension.
Daru was pretty plain in the first season, so how can we add something to make him more without changing the design so heavily that he's unrecognizable? I know, let's add fucking suspenders. Keep in mind that Steins Gate Zero takes place in the winter time, and it's cold enough that Mayushi is bundled up like a goddamn nun, yet Daru is not only still wearing his hat, because God forbid you swap out such an iconic character detail as Daru's fucking hat, but he's still wearing fucking flip-flops.
Et voici un des points où je suis d'accord avec toi. En effet, c'est vrai que d'avoir des claquettes en hiver n'est pas la meilleure solution. Mais le reste de son look reflète le fait qu'on est en hiver avec justement la chemise et le pantalon. Après, les personnes costaudes comme moi ont moins froid en hiver que d'autres. Donc le voir moins habillé que Mayuri ne me paraît pas étrange.
This is completely asinine. In the wintertime, this character should have been wearing a hooded jacket and probably some kind of snow boots, maybe a beanie on top as well. Something comfortable, warm, and otaku. I don't want to sit here and harp on the outfits all day since I know that most of you don't care, but one thing I simply can't let slide is the tits. All of the girls now have gigantic tits for no reason, and they look fucking terrible. Mayuri's shirts cling to the underside of her tits like they're sewn into a bra shape. Suzuha's seem to be floating in air when she's in a tank top. None of them have any heft or shape. They're just balloons taped to the characters' chests, and I hate them. Moving on.
Alors effectivement, on peut critiquer que les poitrines des personnages ont un peu grandi entre Steins Gate et Steins Gate Zero, mais ce point ne devrait pas entrer en compte dans ton analyse.
By far the worst victims of Steins Gate Zero's warped perception of what even is a character development are Okabe Rintaro and Shina Mayuri. Neither of these characters even resembles what they used to be, and I already know that a lot of viewers will have accepted this because the show does in fact offer an explanation for how they got this way. Your mileage will vary, but in my opinion, the reasons given for these characters' changes are a complete bullshit cop-out that breaks the original show entirely if I take them seriously.
Je ne vois pas en quoi un être brisé par des voyages dans le temps et une autre personne qui apprend en cours de série que quelqu'un s'est sacrifié pour elle comme étant des choses qui détruisent l'original, mais ok.
For what it's worth though, some of the blame can be placed on the first season for offering this out in the first place. You see, when we're introduced to Okabe and Mayushi, the former seems to be a paranoid delusional who plays up an over-the-top character in order to conceal his social awkwardness and inability to communicate normally, while the latter seems like an adorably autistic and childlike girl with an underdeveloped mind. However, at one point, it's revealed that Mayushi entered a deep depression and started acting especially weird after the death of her grandmother, and that Okabe started calling her his hostage and fabricating his fictional version of reality in order to cheer her up. Now keep in mind here that all of this is presented vaguely, and we are given no reason to believe that if not for this event, the characters would have just been completely normal.
Vaguement pas vraiment en fait. L'explication autour de la création de Onikyoma pour aider Mayuri est bien montrée, et ça durant plusieurs épisodes.
Okabe is frequently seen performing his character in front of people other than Mayushi, and even when he's totally alone and lost in the throes of paranoia. While he does exhibit self-awareness about the way he's acting and how it looks, and it's clear that he plays it up a lot of the time as an act to get out of awkward moments or to conceal his own foolishness, this doesn't mean that it's something he could simply turn on and off at will, or which has no grounding in his personality.
C'est justement ce qui arrive au début de Steins Gate Zero. Ayant abandonné sa personnalité, il n'est plus le même et ça se ressent dans la manière qu'il interagit avec les gens.
In episode 22, there's a heart-wrenching scene in which Ocarine, having made it to a timeline wherein Mayushi can live at the sacrifice of Makise Kurisu, goes into one of his usual megalomaniacal character rants with an obvious sense of desperation. But Mayushi cuts him off, telling him, "You don't have to talk like that anymore. Mayushi is better now, so you can cry for yourself." Nothing about this line implies that Mayushi being better now would mean that she's any different from how she's been throughout the series. In fact, considering that Okabe is back at the very beginning of the timeline at this point, the Mayushi saying this is literally the same one which we were spending time with in episode 1.
Non. J'ai deux problèmes avec ce que tu viens de dire. Deux. Oui, en effet, on est retourné à la ligne de temps originelle. Par contre, on n'est pas au début de la timeline. Justement, nous sommes le 21 août 2010, soit la fin du voyage pour Okabe. Deuxième chose, le fait que Mayuri n'ait pas changé. Si, elle a bien changé. Même si elle ne connaît pas le sort de la Mayuri de l'autre timeline, son temps passé avec Okabe est toujours aussi important vu qu'ils sont amis d'enfance. En voyant Okabe au port du désespoir, elle sait qu'il a besoin de sentir que Mayuri n'est plus en danger car elle est devenue plus libre qu'avant. C'est une façon de dire que Mayuri sera là pour lui et non Okabe pour Mayuri.
before we'd even learned about the deeper sense of emotional intelligence which she possesses and just isn't able to express in coherent language. Moreover, Mayushi saying this does not imply a truth that Okabe is literally only talking in this character for her sake. In this moment, he is trying to cover up his emotions using this character, and Mayushi is telling him that it's okay for him to be weak because she no longer relies on his emotional strength in order to keep herself alive as she once did. Talking like that in this context does not mean performing your character, but shielding your emotions. I'm putting so much emphasis on this because Steins Gate Zero deliberately opts to take this statement at face value and to completely rewrite the characters on the basis that they were solely acting the way they were as a reaction to that certain event in the past, and that now that Mayushi has announced her being okay now, and Okabe no longer needing that persona, both of them are completely and totally normal.
Alors oui, ils sont normaux. Et alors? Okabe est en deuil, il a abandonné sa personnalité, car ça a coûté en partie la vie à son amour, Makise Kurisu. Mayuri, elle, n'a plus besoin d'Okabe. Elle était déjà elle auparavant. Donc, elle était normale de base.
In Okabe's case, it's at least a little more believable that, with his greater mental maturity achieved from basically living a second lifetime on top of his own via time loops and having been so deeply emotionally broken by his experiences, he might be a pretty different person when reintroduced to society. While Steins Gate Zero treats the Hoa-Wing Kyoma personality like it was nothing more than a performance and had no basis in any kind of paranoid personality disorder, at the very least it preserves Okabe's social awkwardness and has the other characters comment on the way that he's changed, to an extent where Mayushi even calls him a normie at one point. But is this really the logical conclusion of his development? For anyone who's made it this far into the video not having seen either of these shows or needing a refresher, let's address the conceit of this sequel. Massive spoilers for a dramatic thriller show incoming in case you somehow weren't prepared for that when you clicked on the video. Steins Gate is a show about a group of goofy otaku accidentally creating a lackluster time travel device which leads to a seemingly inescapable future in which Mayuri is killed and a time travel arms race causes 5.7 billion people to die in World War III, eventuating in a dystopic future.
Wrong one, no one, you're wrong! Totalement faux! Dans la timeline où Mayuri meurt, pour être plus exact, dans le champ d'attraction Alpha, qui contient un nombre immense de lignes de temps, ce n'est pas la Troisième Guerre mondiale! C'est la prise du pouvoir du CERN avec le voyage temporel dans une dystopie. La Troisième Guerre mondiale se passe dans le champ d'attraction Beta, où Makise Kurisu meurt, dans lequel on est actuellement. Se tromper sur un élément aussi simple. Mon Dieu!
With the limited technology at his disposal, Ocarine continually sends his memories into the past and relives the same couple of days over and over again, making small corrections to the continuity in an effort to prevent Mayuri's death. At the aforementioned end of episode 22, he finally makes it to a universe in which Mayuri lives, only to realize that in doing so, he has also regressed into a universe wherein the scientist Makise Kurisu, whom he's fallen in love with over the course of his adventures, is killed instead, and World War III remains inevitable unless she can be saved.
Correction, il s'en rend compte dans l'épisode 21 de cette fatalité par rapport au sacrifice de Kurisu.
In episode 23, Ocarine makes an attempt to save Kurisu, which fails, and then Mayuri slaps him and tells him to try again. Then Suzuha, a time traveler from the dystopic future who also happens to be Daru's daughter, reveals that she has a message from a future version of Okabe, who became obsessed with creating the time travel machine which Suzuha is using after this very failed attempt, giving Okabe advice on how he can succeed with a second attempt. Steins Gate Zero, then, is set in that very timeline in which Okabe gave up after his first failure and became obsessed with time travel. It seeks to fill in the gaps on how he came to that point where he created the video and the time machine. We'll get into why this is a terrible idea from a narrative standpoint later, but for now let's just focus on what it means for the characters.
Justement, c'est un très bon point scénaristique pour une suite, savoir les éléments manquants que forme le puzzle autour de Steins Gate.
First of all, we have to address this OVA, which was made to bridge the gap between the two shows by providing an alternate take on the ending of episode 23. In this version, it's actually Suzuha who goes to slap Okabe, but then Mayushi stops her and begs her to consider all that Okabe's been through, asking why it should fall on him to make such big decisions and to save the day, then leading him off the roof and straight into total acceptance of failure. Right off the bat, this puts us in a dramatically unsatisfying universe by suggesting that seeing Suzuha going to slap Okabe instead of slapping him herself somehow changed Mayuri's entire mentality towards the situation.
Mayuri voit son ami d'enfance complètement brisé et Suzuha veut lui mettre une claque. Normal qu'elle s'interpose, non? Enfin, je ne sais pas. Et concernant l'épisode 23, dans la version originale, Mayuri frappe avant que Suzuha en ait la possibilité.
In order to justify this, we then have to go down a road in which it's suggested that Mayuri always would have made that decision, if not for the fact that in the interim where Suzuha and Okabe were warped out trying to save Kurisu, a second time machine secretly landed on the roof, from which future Mayuri calls herself on the phone and tells herself not to let Okabe give up on the mission. In doing this, Steins Gate Zero has now fundamentally altered our perception of Mayuri's character. It used to be that in spite of basically having no idea what's going on, other than that Okabe is desperately trying to save someone whom he cares about, her belief in him is so strong and she sees what he's doing as so untrue to himself that she feels the need to wake him up from his stupor and send him back into the machine. Now it's implied that she totally would have just coddled and absolved him in the first place if not for the fact that she was going to regret it later.
Alors, je ne sais pas si tu te rappelles la série originale, mais Mayuri est du genre à être prévenante avec les gens autour d'elle. Donc il paraît normal qu'une Mayuri non informée, qui voit que son ami est complètement déprimé, va essayer de le remettre d'aplomb en essayant de l'aider. Par contre, la Mayuri informée par son double du futur sait que si elle ne se fait pas de violence en mettant une claque à Okabe, il perdra sa lueur.
All told, this tarnishes possibly Mayuri's most powerful character moment from the original show, and for no reason at all, because this scene didn't actually need to be addressed. While Mayuri's slap is emotionally important, it isn't necessarily narratively important.
Non, la claque de Mayuri est bien importante du côté narratif, car ça a permis à Okabe de se calmer. S'il ne s'était pas calmé, il n'aurait pas pu entendre ce que Suzuha avait à lui dire.
Because in this timeline, Suzuha already has the future Okabe's video on hand to show him so that he'll go back and prevent that very future from happening.
Certes, elle aurait pu avoir la vidéo avec elle, mais le fait qu'Okabe soit brisé a empêché dans cette timeline originelle de Steins Gate Zero de lui montrer, car Okabe ne voulait plus tenter une seule fois. La claque de Mayuri a permis à Suzuha d'emboîter le pas.
If Suzuha's actions were going to be different because she didn't have that plan locked and loaded, then it could have been basically anything that led us to this timeline. Hell, it could have just been that Suzuha decided to stick around until they could think of a better solution, because that's what she ends up doing anyways. After all, while this time machine only has enough fuel left for one more trip, that trip can be taken at any time.
Pour être plus exact, la Suzuha Beta tente à de nombreuses reprises de faire qu'Okabe vienne avec lui, mais il refuse à chaque fois. Et le carburant est un souci, ce qui est prouvé par le voyage de Suzuha à la fin de l'anime.
She already knows that she comes from a future in which Okabe failed his first attempt and then created the time leap technology, so now she's sitting in a closed time loop where she already broadly knows what's going to happen, provided that her presence here or some other use of time travel technology doesn't alter that future somehow. Anyways, we can get back to the mind-breaking techno bullshit later on, but the important part is that they fucked up Mayuri's character for no goddamn reason except to give her something to do in the sequel, and her personality is nothing like it was before.
Je ne vois pas en quoi le fait que Mayuri ne le claque pas fait qu'ils ont ruiné son personnage, pour être honnête.
Now she's basically just a standard anime childhood friend character who thinks completely rationally and acts like some kind of den mother to the rest of her clique. In the original show, Okabe frequently teased and took advantage of her because of her ignorance, forcing her to spend money on him and giving her random assignments which she happily obliged to without really knowing why she was doing them. It was a fascinating and realistic dynamic, and now she's just a waifu. She's also unambiguously in love with Okabe now, even though this was never even suggested in the original show.
Non, en effet, ce n'est pas vraiment montré dans le show original, mais c'est quelque chose qu'on peut imaginer vu les relations entre les deux personnages. Dans une des routes du visual novel, c'est d'ailleurs ce qu'il se passe. Mayuri se met en couple avec Okabe, même s'il est triste de ne plus voir Kurisu. Ils essaient d'avancer ensemble.
Mayushi had expressed nothing but encouragement over Okabe finding someone else that he loved and cared about, and would have been completely willing to sacrifice herself for that person's sake if given the choice. This version of Mayuri gets jealous over the fact that Okabe is thinking about someone else so much, and ends up helping out in the end less out of pure selflessness and more out of direct love for Okabe. Meanwhile, Okabe himself, in spite of having used his reading Steiner power to traverse world lines and live something like a second lifetime studying and manipulating the reality surrounding him, chooses to live his life from now on by just emulating the most basic understanding of normalcy imaginable, avoiding the lab and his old friends as much as possible and going full gray man as he transiently meanders through life. So apparently the difference between Mayuri slapping him or not is that his entire personality just dissolves.
Puis-je te poser une question? Comment réagirais-tu si, en faisant des voyages dans le temps, tu tues malencontreusement la personne que tu aimes? Tu serais brisé, n'est-ce pas? Je pense que tu comprends maintenant pourquoi Okabe est en deuil.
Again, let me remind you, the time machine is still there on the roof, and Suzuha is begging him like every day to go back and make another attempt.
Oui, mais il n'a plus envie de jouer au dieu avec les voyages dans le temps, vu les souffrances qu'il a endurées et les personnes autour de lui qui ont souffert.
Okabe has spent mental years leaping through timelines and has continually gotten results, to the point that he did in fact rescue Mayuri. Yet this one moment of weakness has come to define his entire future? It's not like there hadn't been plenty of moments previously where he'd lost hope and fallen into despair, but usually all he needed was a pep talk and a moment to get his bearings again and he was ready to get back out. Am I really to believe that he just completely gave up after all that shit? When the future Okabe talked about becoming obsessed with time travel after what happened, I imagined that it would have gnawed at his mind constantly, that he'd be grappling every day with the question of whether it was wise to corrupt the timeline further, or if he could come up with a plan to get Kurisu back. Maybe it could have played out that when Suzuha couldn't convince him to get back in the time machine, she'd just taken off to the past again to try to change things at an even earlier point.
Sauf que ça ne fonctionnera pas parce que les champs d'attraction vont faire en sorte que les événements se déroulent de toute manière. Ce qu'on appelle les événements convergents, les événements impossibles à manquer. Par exemple, le bug de l'an 2000, la mort de Makise, la mort de Mayuri, etc., etc.
And then like a week later, Okabe had come up with the plan that he eventually sends back to his past self, but then had to spend like 30 years on the grind perfecting this technology just so he could send that message to himself before Suzuha takes off. Instead, we have the excuse that Suzuha and Mayuri had to go back to make that phone call, using the last of the fuel in the machine at a totally arbitrary moment in the timeline, which just happens to end up being another convergence point for the ending of the season, but we'll get back to that later. In the end, it doesn't really matter what plot conceit was needed to justify the existence of Steins Gate Zero. It could have been anything if the writers had gotten creative about it. We had no reason to make any assumptions about what led to this point other than what we can surmise on the basis of how we understand the characters.
Peut-être pour toi, mais pour moi, il est important d'avoir toutes les pièces du puzzle pour pouvoir le comprendre.
But instead of taking the characters we know and love and imagining how they would evolve when placed into a new scenario, instead the characters are altered in fundamental ways to allow the pre-established new scenario to transpire, i.e. it's lazy fucking character writing. Later into the series, Okabe decides to revive his Ho-Oh and Kyoma personality as some kind of war face used to inspire his crew, which is cliched and goofy and dumb, and it's suggested that he's embarrassed about it even though he snaps back into those mannerisms in such a way that to believe this was all an act suddenly paints him as an A-class method actor.
Il faut savoir qu'il a vu Suzuha et Mayuri partir en machine temporelle et voir un missile à roquette s'abattre sur la machine, ne laissant que peu de chance par rapport aux doutes concernant le sort de ces deux demoiselles. Donc déjà, il est paniqué, on peut le comprendre, car il pensait que la vie de Mayuri était certaine. Vu les choix qu'il avait fait auparavant, il avait fait tout pour la sauver. Et il se trouve que c'est beaucoup plus compliqué que ça. C'est seulement après une réalisation du futur, dans lequel les personnages vivent, qu'il comprend qu'il faut qu'il revienne à son ancienne personnalité pour réussir à battre la fatalité.
But you know what? It would have been dead easy to have this all make sense. All they had to do was present Okarin's attempt at normalcy as a struggle, and to suggest that Kyoma was always bubbling under the surface the entire time. Instead of telling us that Okarin would just be a complete normie if he wasn't actively performing a Chunibyo personality, make it out like he's afraid of his own mania and constantly trying to suppress it, because yeah, it did kind of put him in this situation in the first place. Then, when it becomes apparent that his fake attempt at a normie life didn't work out, have the facade finally crack as he goes cackling back into paranoid madness. Paint this not as a heroic return, but a terrifying one, as an out-of-control psychological break that's just the kind of crazy we needed to think different. Otherwise, this shit doesn't make any goddamn sense and it's boring and it sucks. Daru doesn't fare any better than his compatriots in this sequel, though it's less a breaking of his foundation and more a weird suggestion about what it would mean for him to develop. Daru was mostly characterized as lazy and dismissive in the original, someone who had his own talents and his own business to attend to, but enjoyed hanging out with Okabe because they're both otaku who like building weird machines. He didn't take Okabe seriously in the slightest as an intelligent or important person, and considered him a delusional chunibyo. In this show, he's taken as the de facto number 2 guy, best friend bro, whose faith in Okabe is unshakable and who punches him into action when the chips are down. He is heroic, and while you could say that some of his new attitude is the result of hanging out with his daughter and learning what he's supposed to do in the future, that development is no sold by what we actually see in the series. That is, aside from the revelation that his part-time hacking jobs apparently involve borderline secret agent badass proclivities.
Le fait qu'il se soit concentré sur son activité de hacker prouve qu'il est bien plus qu'un super hacker, mais qu'il est juste excellent dans ses domaines de compétences. Itaru comprend dans Steins Gate l'importance de la mission d'Okabe, et dans Steins Gate 0, Suzuha a dû lui expliquer tous les tenants et aboutissants, et croit du coup en Okabe pour sauver la mise.
If not for continuing to spout memes and otaku culture shit, you could easily forget that this was even supposed to be the same character. The chemistry between Okabe, Mayushi, and Daru was my favorite thing about the original Steins Gate. Their hilarious and believable dialogue had sold me on the show so quickly that I considered it to be a favorite after just the first 4 episodes back when it aired. In this series, the characters are boring, generic, trite, and built around narrative cliches instead of around the attitudes and demeanors of real people. In short, they fucking suck, and so does everything else about this show, but it's going to take a while to break down every single thing that put me off, so we'll have to break this video into parts.
Et ça va me prendre encore plus de temps pour t'expliquer pourquoi je ne suis pas en accord avec ton opinion. Et nous sommes déjà à 35 minutes de vidéo, donc on va s'arrêter là pour cette vidéo, la première vidéo des critiques sur la critique de Digibro par rapport à Steins Gate 0. Et on continuera très prochainement. J'espère en tout cas que cette première vidéo vous aura plu et on se retrouve bientôt pour la suite. C'était Jeff, stay tuned for more. What is it me? Et à la prochaine les gens.